Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, mandatory drug testing in the Philippines. How does it impact you as an expat, as a tourist, as a visitor? How does it help your safety or hinder it? How does it impact the local Filipinos? Well, you know something? Let's just talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
All right. So many of you may have seen in the news recently a large number of fatality incidences, including or being caused by public utility vehicles here in the Philippines. Now, whether the vehicle caused it, the driver caused it, or somebody else caused it, it involved these PUVs. So I think the first thing you need to understand is, what is a PUV? Well, a PUV is a public utility vehicle. And this is what kind of put me off a little bit time-wise getting this video out. There's no strict definition of what a PUV is. Now, there's an encompassing one, all right? But there are two things that make them kind of common. The first one is that certainly all buses and transports of commuters are in that category. The second thing is franchised. So if the company or the service has to get a franchise, and these franchises can be controlled by LGUs. What's an LGU? It's a local government unit, or they can be a franchise through the DOTR, the Department of Transportation. All right. Those are public utilities. In many instances, PUVs will include buses, minivans, multi-cabs, trikes even, and motorcycle services. So, and there are others, okay? But you get the drift. So what's happening here? Well, probably something that should have happened a long time ago. They did a surprise inspection. They caught the beginning of Holy Week, caught a bunch of guys, expired licenses, no licenses, failed. They did some drug testing, right, and failed them. Now, I think what's interesting here is that you understand, number one, what the PUV is, which we've explained, and then number two, what the LGU is, the local government unit. So, for instance, here in Angeles, there's no city franchise for trikes that I'm aware of, that I was able to find. However, every local government unit, all right, the LGU for Malabañas, Balibago, all of the surrounding areas, all right, they are awarded franchises. How they run them, and believe it or not, you know, for those of you that have suffered through the trike situation, there is a method to their madness, how that works. And maybe one day we'll cover that. But anyways, the point is that the DOTR oversees or has a oversight of those things. Now, are they participating in those things? Maybe not. But on the bigger scale, they are. So let's just take a look at this. PUV drivers are mandated to undergo, let's see if we can get this to work. Mandated to undergo drug testing every day, every 90 days, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, that's what this guy wants. All right. He wants it. So, following several recent road accidents, the Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon on Monday said he would sign a departmental order requiring drivers of PUVs to undergo mandatory drug testing every night. I'm sorry, it's 3:20 in the morning here. All right. So he had this, and this came from several things, but there was a terrible bus accident recently, and the driver that was involved in that bus accident did not want to be subjected to drug testing. So the testing for after the fact. Okay, fine, great. So the problem that we do run into here, we do run into a problem. And the problem is that who's going to pay for this? How's it going to be? And then there's been an addition to this since then. All right. But he says the system is broken and we have to admit it. We have to fix it. I will sign a memorandum requiring mandatory drug testing for all PUV drivers. So this is going to be a huge undertaking, in my opinion. Who's going to pay for it? Where's it going to get done? Is there going to be a room for corruption in this? Now, one of the other things that rolls in here, now they're going to be working, he says, with the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency to implement this, and he was very upset. And this is a good thing, first off, in my mind. All right. We've ridden on these buses. Okay. We don't ride on them much. You know, we do take the Genesis bus, okay, down to different places, but down to the airport in Naio sometimes. But, and then we have to take the bus in the province on occasion. All right. So it says that the LTO Franchising and Regulatory Board would reduce the number of hours a driver can drive on top of this without breaks from 6 to 4 hours. All right. And that this is the second part that got added to it that I think is interesting. For routes that will require over 4 hours, the bus companies are now required to provide a backup driver, not merely a conductor. Well, this is not going to come free. It's going to cost a little bit more, but certainly it's worth it, don't you think, to be safe? I would think it is. Excuse me. He says, I'm asking the LTO together with the LTFRB to really make roadworthiness checks. Okay. And he admits that roadworthiness here aren't real. That, let's be honest, we all know that buses and Jeeps aren't being properly inspected. Well, it's about time somebody jumped on this and did something about it. You know, why so many of them end up with failing brakes, he added, as a question. So all of these things happen, and there's more to this article. It's in the Inquirer.net. You can look it up. I'll try and include the link in the description below. Now, where does this impact you? Okay. How does it impact you? Well, all right. The cost of a jeepney or a bus ticket is going to go up. Big deal. All right. If you can't afford for what is already a small amount to go up, you're in the wrong place. The locals, however, this may pose a problem for some of them. Number two, who's going to oversee all of this? Will there be corruption involved? I mean, we all know it. He admits it right here. Okay. He admits that getting them inspected. I mean, we've touched on this subject before, that there are so many vehicles on the road that could never possibly pass a legitimate inspection. We see it all the time. You know, I wake up super early in the morning compared to most people. With that being said, I'm on my balcony having my coffee. I will see so many vehicles that go by, including jeepneys, only one tail light, no lights at all, motorcycles that have no lights or one light, and you can see their turn signals don't work. I mean, there are, and during the daylight, you can see no side mirrors. That's a requirement, side mirrors on motorcycles. So there's the list just goes on and on. Who's going to enforce this stuff? How's it going to be enforced? And finally, can this guy actually get it implemented? And more importantly, if he can, how long will it take to get it implemented? How about you tell me what you think? Give us an idea. I personally think it's a great step forward. It's, the Philippines admitting that there are issues in public. They've known it, all right, for a long time, but it's got to be done. And that's one of the beauties of social media. Social media has made it have to happen because it is becoming such a public issue. So please, let's make it even more of a public issue. Let's push it forward. Like my little channel, our little channel would make any kind of a difference. But please do subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Let's get people to know that we are talking about it. As an expat, your safety is important. And this is one of those things that if you're going to travel around the Philippines, you may very well have to deal with. Now, are taxis and cabs included? That's a tough call right now. I don't know. But let's just see what he gets done to begin with. Your thoughts. What do you think? You think this is a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? You think it'll be corrupt? You think that they'll needlessly pass on expenses that they claim and then don't actually use that money to do and follow through with these services? How do you feel about it? Let us know. Thank you so much. We hope you have a great, safe day.